Hello, welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm Julie Torrens. Welcome to my studio. If you are new, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. So what is this mess? Well, sometimes our studios get messy and sometimes our journals feel a little messy. And that's where I was getting because I had too many wild backgrounds and I just needed to think about how I wanted to take care of it. So that's what this is about. So I'm just going to take these things off. But what I did was I sprayed this with some spray inks, put a stencil on, sprayed it, and now the stencil is full of spray as well, so I just took that stencil and pressed it on here. So these are the backgrounds, but what do you do? And here, look, what do I do with these dark backgrounds? And so I was thinking, well, what if I isolated some areas and then did some art doodling, something like that? So I thought we would give it a try. This is the first time I'm trying it. Now this one is primarily purple and pink. Pink is usually considered a warm color. Purple's kind of neutral. It can go warm and go redder and redder, or it can go cool and go bluer and bluer. So it can be either way. So I took my Prismacolors, and that's the other thing I got, and I separated them and I pulled out oranges and greens, which are pretty much the opposite. I also saved out, there's a metallic gold and a metallic silver in this group, and I saved out the white. So other than that, it's pretty much oranges and greens. Some lean a little to blue, some lean a little maybe to pink, but basically orange. And then I threw in just a couple of neutrals, like I have a gray, but it's kind of a warm gray, things like that. So we'll just kind of work on this together. So these are my Prismacolors, and I can't keep it all in the frame. And then I've got these different containers, and I don't have a compass to make circles. I don't have like a stencil that you can make, like a template or anything. I just have to use what I have. So I've got these things that I'm going to try to make circles and kind of isolate out some spots. So I'm going to have to stand up so I can see. So I'm sorry for the jiggling. And I'm going to pick this neutral, and I'm just going to get started on making some circles. And I don't know if you'll be able to see them at this point. I don't even know if I'll be able to see them. We'll just have to see. But there's one like that. I can see it well enough. Don't want to put another one like that yet. This is a top to a candle, and I'm going to go around it like that. That one you can see better. And I've got a little one, so maybe I'll put the little one here. And you can see my journal is getting full, so the side I'm on right now doesn't have many papers under it, whereas the other side, I'm going all over. The other side does have more. Now these aren't perfect circles, and it's really quite okay. Now this I'm going to try. This will be a real challenge. But I'm going to try to make a circle right over the seam because I want the two pages to feel like they belong together. So how this will turn out, don't know, but I'm just giving it a try. There. Oh, that's okay. Maybe I'll take this one again, put it here. Now, I've never done this technique or whatever you want to call it before, putting a little one up here, but I'm just giving it a try. It may not turn out well. It may turn out great. Who knows? What I want to do is I want to have at least one circle that's kind of going off the page. I think that adds kind of movement, kind of interest when you do that. So I'm going to put that one coming right off the page. And then I know this one you can hardly see. Maybe I can try to do that one again. Do it more like I mean it, huh? Not be too shy about it. There. Yeah, now you can see that one better, I think. And now I've got that one coming off the page. Maybe this one kind of coming off the page. Can't even see what I'm doing. Okay, here. Like that. I like that. Let's give it a go. I can always add more. So now what I was thinking is I'm going to I'm sitting back down, so I'm sorry if it's jiggly. I'm going to try to utilize the patterns that I see and create art that way. Maybe different doodles. So I think I'll start with this one because it's nice and close. So I'm going to start with this green, and it's called aquamarine. So it's really more of a blue, but to me, it looks kind of turquoisey. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by working on these lines. And this one goes this way. And I'm going to kind of fill in these darkest purple lines. But all within my circle. So, as I'm doing this, you can tell me, how is your week gone? I've been on the busy side. As I've told you, I work 3 nights a week as a nurse. And that really, it takes up more time than 3 because the night before, well, not the night, the day before I go into work, I have to sleep some during that day or I won't make it through the night because I do have to stay awake, of course. And when I get home, like yesterday morning, I got home at 8 o'clock in the morning. And after working 3 days, and they were busy days, not bad, I'm not saying they were bad, but they were busy. I can see, I'm sorry, I'm changing gears, but this is really this way, like that. And then this one here. So yeah, they were full nights. And so after 3 of those in a row, I'm tired. I don't sleep that great during the day after I work all night. I do sleep, and I'm grateful for the sleep I get, but it's not the same as nighttime sleep. So anyway, yesterday I was tired. And so I rested, didn't do art. I did watch some videos and, trying to keep inspired. And then I've got some other videos that I watch that are not necessarily art related, but I enjoy them. And I slept a lot. And then nighttime came. Well, I still slept. I mean, that's how tired I am. And I'm old, When I was 21, 24, even 35, I could pull a night shift and then be still productive in the day. That's gone. Maybe if I just worked 1 day, I would be okay. But 3 in a row, But again, I'm grateful for my job, and it's just where I'm at right now. So as far as my YouTube, I did some shorts, and some of them get a good response and some of them hardly get any response at all. And I can't tell you the rhyme nor reason. I wish I knew to like replicate whatever I did, but it can't be the exact same or that's just going to be boring. And you've got 15 seconds to talk or show or demonstrate something in art. So they're a challenge, and definitely the setup and the takedown of what you're doing is longer than the video itself by far. You have to, well, you don't have to, but I like to pick out music because I want to hook whoever's scrolling through their phone. Most of the watch time is on the phone. I don't want them to just keep going. So between whatever they see when my video starts to show up, it's got to be, in my opinion, extremely interesting, or at least somewhat interesting. And then it's got to hold attention for 15 seconds. So one of my most recent ones, I did get like 2,000 hits. Now, if people watch it in that scrolling mode where they're just watching short and then another short, then another short, I get credit for the watch time. But if people are just seeing it because they're watching YouTube videos in the traditional way, then I don't believe I get watch time credit for that. You need to have them in that short watching mode. So with my 2,000 views, I got 7 watch time hours, which, if you're watching one of my regular videos like this one, that means I need to get 7 people to watch it for the whole hour. Now, getting anyone to watch one of my videos for a whole hour seems to be rare, but it's a longer time than certainly the 15 seconds. But anyway, it's all a learning process that I'm going through to try to grow this channel. Now, I have my pencil sharpener handy, but because I feel so bad to have you sit while I'm sharpening a pencil, I mean, is there anything more boring than that? But I can see already this pencil is getting down there, but I sharpened every pencil that I believed I was going to need for this project, and just trying to avoid that you would have to be sitting still watching me sharpen a pencil. I mean, that's probably like watching the steel rust at a steel mill. Just, oh, yeah. Talk about turn away quick, huh? But my channel is slowly growing. I've got about 43 at this point. 43, and this is May. 43 subscribers. And then I have about, I don't know, less than 200 watch hours so far. Okay, so you can see what I did. I kind of isolated just within that circle. And I think I'm going to, oh, and look, I sharpened this one and it's only on one side. Oh, Julie, Julie, Julie. So I'm going to, I think, start out by just filling in some of these with some color, especially towards the edges, so that we can see the circle that I demarcated. So far, I'm liking the colors I picked out. I mean, they're really a contrast to what the rest of the page is. So I like that. And I think I'll put another one here. Now, I'm not going to do all the edge ones solid, but enough that the eye will complete the circle. Do you know what I mean? Just to have that happen. Okay, maybe one more, just a little one right here. Okay. That's that color. Now I'm going to grab an orange. And, oh, did I tell you what that color was? I'm sorry. The color I was just using is called Spring Green, and now I'm moving into orange. The name of it is just orange. So I'm going to fill this in. I believe orange is totally opposite on the color wheel from purple. I think. I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I love comments. I need comments. So let me know what you think, because I am interested. Okay, so how does that look? I'm liking it. Yeah, I'm liking it real well. Okay, so that was orange. Let's try a yellowish color. Now this one's called lemon yellow. And let's start, oop, snap the tip, that's okay. I'd say I'm using medium pressure. I'm not trying to burnish these colors on because I haven't needed to use that much strength. But I do want the colors to be definite. I don't want it to be, oh, I think it's purple and she kind of shaded it with yellow. No, no. I want it to say yellow to whoever's looking at it. I'm getting some crumbs. Hang on, I'm just going to reach, sorry. And I'm just grabbing a brush because I don't want to smear it. And let's do another yellow. That's making noise. Sorry. Oh, it's still making noise. Right over here. That's better. I know those random noises can really get on one's nerves. So I'm trying not to have that. Okay, another yellow. Sure. Maybe right here. So what are you doing in your journals? What do you do when you have a real wild background? I mean, these backgrounds should hardly be called backgrounds because they're just so intense. It's just like I made gigantic foregrounds. I wouldn't say I put a focal point in yet, but I'm just right now trying to kind of break it up so it just doesn't look like wallpaper. Okay, grab another color. Now I have some, like, I don't know, heartier greens. So let's try another green. This one is called grass green. We'll try putting this one here. That's definitely dark. I like it. I'm not going to put too many more solid ones in this one. I feel like I have enough of them to show the circle in it. I'll do this one. So what do you do when you have a really busy background in your art journal? How do you like to take care of it, or what do you like to do? Maybe you just like to put a focal point on top with a verse or a saying or a, you know, kind of an inspirational message. Or do you gesso it so that it kind of calms down a little bit? What is it that you do to turn a background from being really in your face to a little bit more in the background? People often say, you know, to knock it back, to knock it back. Well, until I have been doing this for a while, I wasn't really sure I understood what they meant. But now I do get it. Okay, looking good. Now, with the rest of these, here's what I thought. I'm moving one of my cans out of the way, and I'm getting one of my black Sharpies. Okay, this Sharpie is new to me. It has kind of a brush tip. So I'm not sure I want to use it in here because I want something a little bit finer, but I'm not going to put it away. I'm just going to grab a different one. Oh, I bought two of them. Same thing. All right, let's try another one. Okay. So what I thought I would do is kind of some textury things. So like in this one, I'm just going to put circles of different sizes and shapes and just kind of fill this in with more of a textural design. So I'm not obliterating the picture that it's amongst. I don't want this to just look like I took something else and slapped it on top, but that it's in harmony. It's a part of the design, just somewhat separate. So the way that I made the circle and just continued the lines that were there, I think will help that. But also I think not completely filling all these in with solid colors, but letting the background of it still show. Say I'm going to take this one and I'm just going to make some line texture going in all kinds of different directions and just filling in, not really cross hatching. I'm not having the lines go on top of each other, but just trying to create, again, a texture. I feel like I'm saying that word too many times, and maybe I'm not being clear of what I'm doing, but maybe as you see it, you can kind of get it. So that maybe it looks kind of like a fabric or, you know, something like that. But I'm just making diagonal, horizontal, vertical lines all across to fill this little space in. There, okay? So we've got some circles, and I can still do more circles, more lines. It's all okay. So I think in this one, I'm going to just start with a line, never have it cross, but just fill it in with wiggly lines. So I think you'll kind of get the idea. But I'm not having the lines ever cross each other. Just go all over the page kind of willy-nilly and have it be wrinkly like this. Can you even see it? I don't know. I hope so. Does this seem like a project that you might try? Maybe you've got some backgrounds that this little exercise might help you with. That would be great. Let me know in the comments. If you have like a Facebook page or an Instagram page that you can let me know where you are, I will be more than happy to take a look at your creations. I would love it. I mean, even if they're not related to what I'm doing, just whatever it is you are doing. See, I like that. This one is rather small. So I think what I'm going to do is just make some boxes. And as it changes shape, my boxes will change shape. And do like that. There, like that. So, okay, we've got that circle done. What do you think? Does it look okay? Oh, what am I talking about? What about those two, huh? Julie, Julie, Julie. Okay, well, I think what I'll do in this one is I'm going to just start with a circle and then just keep going around and around till I fill the box. Like this. And obviously I won't be able to go all the way around, but just keep heading in the same direction of what I was doing. Like that. This can go faster than you think. There. Okay. And now I've got one more right here. Think, Julie, think. Okay, how about something like this? Make like snail circles. Kind of ties into what's below it, but not really. And just stack these guys up. And you know, none of this is perfect at all, but just some texture, some movement, and yet letting the purpley pink color shine through. It seems like here in Western Michigan, spring has sprung. It's going to be in the 80s coming up this week, so that's going to be fun. Okay, that circle's done. Let's start on another one. And I'm probably going to need to pull this book back around this way for me. And I think what I'm going to do, can you hang on? And I'm going to bring you a little closer. Hopefully you don't mind. But then I think you can even see a little better what I'm doing. But I realize you're not going to see. I'm doing it slow because I'm trying not to wobble you around too much. There. Now, that brings you in a little bit closer. Okay, so I've got this one and then part of that one. So I'm going to start on this one. And I think I'm going to pick, this is called Yellow Chartreuse. And I'm going to use this one to fill in the lines. Some of these, and I'm using Prismacolor pencils. It's the Premier line. I don't even know if they have more than one line, but it's the Premier line. And some of them are a little more transparent than others. Some of them are more opaque, but we just have to give it a try. So far, this one is looking a little more transparent than this one, but once I start filling it in, that may change. It certainly won't look as if I did nothing, you know what I mean? There's going to be some action going on here, don't you think? But I can definitely see the texture below. We'll get it all filled in and then see what we think. And if I need to pick another color to go on top, I will. You know, I don't want it to look like, oh, well, she tried to fill it in, but she really didn't do it. No, I don't want that. I want it to definitely look like I was filling it in. So, yep, it's going to be in the 80s. So tomorrow I'll be making videos, but hopefully I can do spending some time outside as well. And I believe, I've got to look at my calendar. It's either tomorrow, it's either Monday or Tuesday. Today is Sunday. Either Monday or Tuesday, I've got to go to the dentist, which is, you know, just necessary, just maintenance. Needs to be done. And unfortunately, my YouTube time isn't helping me pay any bills, so I can't take time off of my other job to go to the dentist, so it'll cut into this kind of time. But hopefully at some point that will change. I hope. I hope my art journaling will inspire more people to consider watching. I'd always appreciate it if you would subscribe, like my videos so that YouTube has confidence in my content. And then if you know of other art people or people that maybe have talked about a situation that is similar to what we're dealing with, that maybe you'll share. Okay, this color is called yellow orange. So I'm going to go ahead and use some yellow orange. Definitely more opaque, not letting the purple shine through quite as much. But variety is nice. So far I'm okay with that yellow. Good. I'll put one here. I do want to get some vitamin D. I want to get some sun. I understand that sun isn't always the best for us. I lived in Arizona for 20 years, so I've dealt with some skin cancer, but I also have some other skin things that the sun kind of helps. So I want to get some sun. All right, now this one is olive green, and I just think it would be nice to have a little bit darker of a color in this circle. Work on filling some of these spots in. I don't have anxiety about going to the dentist, but my teeth, between some medication that I have to take and just heredity, they're not in the greatest of shape at all. So I'm always just a little bit, I wouldn't say worried, but it's definitely on my mind just what the dentist may have to tell me needs to be done. And well, you know, if you're going to go to the doctor, if you're going to go to the dentist, but you're not going to do what they say, well, you're kind of wasting your time and their time. So yeah, I do what they say as best I can. I do. Am I faithful 100% of the time? Oh no. Oh no, that would be a lie if I said I was, but I do try. That's the truth. Okay, we got 3 of those in there. How about this color? Now this is called Yellow Ochre. So kind of a brownish, yellowish color. Not sure how I'll feel about it, but let's give it a try. And then I think I'm just leaving a couple of spots to doodle in, so I'll do that. I've got 3 spots to doodle in, so I think I'll just go with that. Okay, so I'm going to get that Sharpie back. And now if I repeat some of the patterns that I've used in here, I'm okay with that, but I don't want only those. I'm going to have to exercise my brain a little bit. I think with this one, I'm going to make kind of like a wood grain-ish, where the lines kind of, you know, go in kind of a swirly pattern, like a wood grain might. Maybe put something like this here. Bring it around. I hope you can see. Okay, I like that. Looks like it needs a little something right there. Okay, now I've got this one, and maybe on this one I will, let's think about it. What can I do? Well, how about some triangles? Start out with some triangles and see where that takes me. One thing about this Sharpie that I'm liking is that it's definitely willing to write on top of the colored pencil. So that's good. Okay. There's some triangles in there. I think I'm going to put some circles in there too. It looks a little empty to me. There. Okay. Now I just have this little teensy weensy space. And I think I'll just kind of do like a swirl going just all the way in that little spot. Okay. Now we've got this one. What do you think? Are we doing something to this background that's pleasing to to your eye. I hope so. Okay, this color is called Poppy Red. It really is leaning towards an orangey color. Now, this one, the lines are not as distinct, so I'm just going to have to use my imagination a little bit, but I can do that. And I think I'm just, what I'm doing is I'm outlining the spaces, and then what's left will be the lines. And you can see here it just kind of vanishes, but I can see it a little bit. Yes, I can. She says, looking very lost. Okay, that's going to have to do. So I'm filling it in. So when you're working in your art journal, what are you using for inspiration? Are you following other tutorials? Are you maybe making designs that you want to perhaps do with a print on demand and create some t-shirts or some home decor, maybe some tote bags, or just all those things? I mean, with print on demand, you can have all kinds of things. And from what I read, the t-shirt lines, unless it's something awful amazing, is getting a bit saturated. But the other items that they have, things like beach towels, tote bags, hoodies. I believe in one of the print-on-demand companies, I don't remember which one, maybe Printful, they said that hoodies are like the #1 seller. Not the #1 thing that people are picking to put their designs on, but it is a #1 seller. So that's something to think about. If that's, you know, I don't know if that's what you kind of have in mind. I've thought about it, but I can't say I've done much more than think about it. I'm not sure. Well, for one thing, I don't know the technical way to go ahead and get the artwork prepared. Okay, now with that orange, I'm going to pick this green. And this is called True Green. You have to scan your artwork, and then you've got to make it to their specifications. It's not that you're completely changing what you're doing, but they want, you know, certain pixels, and they want certain background, and, you know, transparent backgrounds and this type of thing. Or if you're doing an all over pattern, well, there's a trick to that because you want it to kind of repeat seamlessly. So yeah, there's a little bit of technical work, kind of graphic art sort of thing, things that you would use maybe like Adobe Photoshop or something like that. And I am just not good at that. I need to learn it. I want to learn it. Okay, I've changed gears and I'm picking, oh, that yellow ochre. Okay, we already used that. Let's try something else. This is kind of a greenish gray. It's called jade green, but it's kind of got a gray vibe to me. So let's just put it in there. I do believe I'd like to do print on demand. Another thing print on demand does, it doesn't have to be wearables. It can be stickers or stationery. There's also some of the companies that do like photographs, you know, like you'll, like I think a Shutterfly, where you can, and again, your photographs have to meet certain pixels and certain things, but they too will put your things on postcards, or they'll put them on, again, I saw tote bags, I saw little other types of pouches. Okay, this one's called Goldenrod, and I think I'm just going to do this in one spot. And then I've got 2 spots left that I'm going to fill in with some doodling. Okay. So yes, I've looked into that, turning my art into something other than maybe what you would hang on a wall. All right, so for this one, I think I'm going to do kind of the irregular circles, more like rocks maybe. Some smaller, some bigger, but just creating an overall design of doodling. Kind of, I don't know, like a rocky beach. I'd love to go to the beach. I don't live far from Lake Michigan. I can get there in, I don't know, 20 minutes. So I don't live far. I live far enough that it didn't affect the price of real estate. So that was good. A place exactly like I live would probably be twice the price if it was Lake Michigan front, you know, beachfront. And for those of you who are not familiar with the Great Lakes, when you are standing on the beach in Lake Michigan, you can't see the other side. And I believe it might be Lake Michigan, it might be one of the other Great Lakes, that they get enough of a wave that people do some surfing, you know, when the conditions are just right. I only have one more here and it's pretty small. So I'm just going to go across with some lines to add that texture. Okay, so we've got these 3 done, and then I've got this partial one. So I'm going to turn my book. I think I'm going to turn it upside down, where I still want to be where you can see me, but work right in here. And again, and it was, I'm sure because of the seam and trying to use a stencil, it's a little bit kind of blurry, but I'll just have to use my imagination. Okay, so I used orange, I used kind of a bluish turquoise, and then I used kind of a yellow green. So let's think about maybe, let's see. Kind of running out of original choices. What about this? Okay, this is called grass green. I know we use grass green. I think that's what's in here, which is kind of close. What about a light one? Really light. This is called light peach. I'm going to give it a try. As I say, I can always go over it. And I'm first going to establish these spaces because I'm going to have to kind of make them up, and then I will be sort of filling in the grout, so to speak, once I get this done. See, now this heads off like this, so I'm just going to put in a shape like that. There is a shape here, and then I think I'll do like this. I'm really making these up because I'm to a point that I can't really see, but that's okay. And I'm also working going downhill. This is the beauty of art journaling. Nothing is precision, but that's okay. It's also what makes it so interesting, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm going to fill that much in, and then we'll see where we want to go from there on the other side where it's really no demarcations. The stencil that I used is from Diane Reevely, and so is the spray inks. Dilutions, and this is a Dilutions journal, so I guess this is a bit of a nod to her. I like her stencils because they're big enough for this big journal. And nothing wrong with, like, the little ones that are kind of 6x6. I have them, I use them. But sometimes it's just nice to have one stencil overall to work with. Do you have stencils that you like? I think, I don't, there's one that goes by initials, and I want to say it might be the Crafter's Workshop, but people say like TCW, I think. If I have any of those, I'm not aware of it. I don't think so. I do have some that are very, very old, that are very basic, but I like it, that I bought from Amazon. But I don't really think it's like an American or or any specific artist. They're really kind of geometrics. It's like you can't say, well, someone stole that. No, it's a circle. Circles are, you can't copyright just a plain old circle or a plain old triangle or a plain old tree branch. I mean, there's nothing remarkable, but I do have some of those. And I admit I do try not to buy that way anymore, but I didn't know any better, because I do know that sometimes if you're on, not on a website that has art supplies, but just like you're not on what is it? Scrapbook.com or things like that. When you're not on one of those type of sites, Blick, you can end up with some pirated work. But I didn't realize it at the time. So I do avoid that, because I want artists, true artists, to get, the recognition and the credit that they deserve for their hard work. It's important. It's important to me. I would feel terrible if I opened up a website and there was my art that someone else was selling without my permission. I mean, how violated I would feel. So I don't want to be guilty of doing something like that myself. Not on purpose. I hope never. I do know that some of the people that have done digitals have found their digitals on sites that they didn't have anything to do with, and someone just literally downloaded probably bought it, but downloaded then the image. I am going to have to sharpen this. And then here they are, and they see their own work that someone else is selling. Oh, wouldn't that just frost you? Oh, I don't know. I just think I would cry. And I guess my understanding is that it's pretty hard to stop that. You can send a letter to please cease and desist. You have the original art in your hand. You can prove that it's yours, but I think pretty much the only thing people have been successful at that I've ever heard of, other than Disney. Now, Disney, oh boy, they prosecute. Don't ever try to sell a Disney image, even if you made it yourself, because Disney is on it. And they have prosecuted for it, and as they should. But most people like myself just simply, on a good day, can just get them to stop doing it. I understand some people have sent letters, even gotten legal advice, but it didn't stop anything. So, it's something I just try to beware of. I'm going to move this just a little bit. I'm kind of working in this seam, so I'm sorry if it's not very clear to you. I am trying to always stay in frame. Yeah, I know musicians are dealing with this kind of thing. I have a relative who is in the music industry, and he was just telling me, when I go into like one of the music subscribing things that I've paid for, and I bring up some music that I'm listening to that the artists that did that rarely get anything for it, and I'm just like, really? How does that happen? I don't completely understand it, but I believe him. But how this all happens, I just do not know. I'm not sure I have ever put out any artful things that someone was in a hurry to copy anyway. But if they did, I wouldn't be flattered. No, siree, would not. It is one of the reasons, though, that I sign everything. I don't know if that helps or if it hurts. It can't hurt, but I think it helps to prove that the original art piece is yours. And that's all it takes. You know, that if you can prove it's yours, it's just that to try to chase these people down, and, you know, they may be in another country. They, you know, where are they? Where are they? Where did they come from? I mean, that's all so difficult because really you're dealing with the whole globe. So, okay, I think I've got the outline done on, nope, almost. Spoke too soon. But this lighter color definitely covered up the background. So there's the one that I was wanting to have be, you know, crossing over to make the two pages look a little more homogenized. Okay, this is called Apple Green. Don't think I've used it yet. So here in the United States, the day that I'm working on this is Mother's Day. And so, you know, there's going to be a lot of people in their Sunday best eating out in restaurants, and a lot of moms that have had breakfast in bed today. I hope that they're feeling the love. Everybody has a mom or had a mom at some point, or I hope that you have someone that you consider your mom. Being discipled or mentored that way through your life is important. Yep, that's what today is. So I'm going to do one more. This is a bigger one, so I'm feeling comfortable having a few more in the same colorway, that in the same circle. Can you kind of get the drift of this, what it's, you know, looking like? Did I put enough circles in? Again, when I'm sitting this close, I can't always see what you see. All right, this one is called Canary Yellow. Oh, broke the tip. That's okay. Like I said, I did just sharpen them, trying to not have you have to wait while I sharpen a pencil. I think today is the first day if I had a yard, which I don't, but if I did have a yard, I think today is the first day I'd feel safe putting any plants in the ground. I really don't think we're going to have any more, you know, heavy frost days. I just don't think that's going to happen. Never say never. It is Michigan. And if someone told me it snowed by Thursday, well, I can't say I would be shocked, but what long-term forecasts you can see, I think we're coming into a safer part. I think that right on this seam, it would be hard to do the doodling. So that's why I'm picking it to do a solid color. I think this one would be really hard to get my Sharpie in there and put a specific design. And get another yellow one out here. Are you going to give it a try? Let me know. Okay, this is peach. So again, I think of peach as towards orange, not towards pink. So that's why I picked it. Because I wanted some light colors as well as dark. I think this particular circle I've done a lot of light, which is fine. Let me put this over here. Not a lot of contrast between this color and the color that I used for the lines, but again, that's okay. I think I'll do this little one right here. Okay. One more color. And I think it could use something kind of dark. I was seeing, I wonder, well, I don't know if that's a dark enough yellow. I realize you can't see what I'm looking at. I'm trying not to take too long. All right, what's this? Olive green. I don't think that's what I used there. I hope not. I'm going for it. I know I used it already, but not in this circle. And I think I'll put this where? Here? One more, maybe right here. Okay. So now I think I can use my Sharpie and do some designs or doodles in what we have left. This is a rather long and narrow one, so maybe I'll just give it some stripes. And then what I think I'll do with these stripes is fill in every other one. Kind of like Beetlejuice. When I see stripes like this, for some reason, it can remind me of, oh, now what's his name? It just slipped right out of my mind. Who did like the Cat in the Hat and Dr. Seuss. I bet you were yelling it. Yep, Dr. Seuss. There. Okay, I like that. And how about this one? What if I started with a flower? And then just kept going around till I fill in the space. Like that. There. I like that. I've got another little one over here. I don't even know if you can see it, but I think I'm just going to make some circles. And then I'll color them in. They're not really polka dots because I didn't put them in a pattern. So they're just random circles. Not even sure if you can see me, but done. Okay, so there's those. And then I've got this one here. I'm looking at what I've already done and trying to get some ideas. And I'm going to run out of ideas. I'm going to have to kind of kind of go with something maybe I've already done. I'm just putting some half squares. And then I'll give them a dot. And there. Okay, I've got this little guy here. This one has a lot of little spaces that I'm trying to fill in with lines. So I think I'm not going to worry so much about if I repeat these designs in another circle, just not have maybe the same design in the same circle. See if I can achieve that. She says. So I'm going to do this one in that wiggly where I try not to cross over any lines. And there's that one. And I've got this one. And let's see, maybe a different kind of a stripy pattern. Like that. And then maybe put dots in between. Like that. Okay. Now I've got 1, 2, 3 more. Oh, 4, 5. I got these two little guys. Well, those little ones. I think I'm just going to do kind of a back and forth sort of a pattern there. And maybe this one, I'm just going to put some scribbly lines. Like that. Okay. Maybe this one, a teardrop and a teardrop like this. And then maybe add another teardrop or two and go around them. Like this. Kind of keep the pattern going a little. And then maybe around like that. And then maybe make these a little bit smaller inside, like that. Okay. Oh, I'm using up my brain cells to think of something different to put in each pattern, huh? Well, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to put, this one just seems to be lending itself to squares. So I'm going to put some squares in here. Just felt like that would be a good thing. Okay. This one. What are we going to do for this one? Maybe some more circles. Like some little, some big. Just fill it in with some texture. I will tell you, when I look across this page, I like it a lot better than I did before I started this. Yes, I do. It feels like it's got more, I don't know, more purpose, more direction, more intention than it did when it was just kind of looking helter-skeltery. Not that I didn't like it, but I don't know, looking a little more finished maybe, perhaps. Okay, I'm going to bring this over so you can kind of see this much and then here. And so now I'm going to slide out of the way and work more on these. So I hope you can see. Putting the Sharpie away. And I think I'm going to work on this one. It's a big one. Okay, so we've got dark, dark, light, light. So I really feel like I could go either way. What about this color? This one's called Lime Peel. Now this one, again, it's got some blurriness, so I'm going to have to kind of use my imagination for some. Oh, there. See, I sharpen these, and sometimes I think I just went a little crazy. Got it too sharp. But I think I'm going to have to define the little spaces and then fill in the other parts. Now these, the part that I'm going to color in are lighter, and the part that I'm going to doodle in is darker. You can kind of see that. I have used this stencil for so many projects, and I really like it. I think it's very versatile. I wish I could tell you the name of it, but at this point I don't know. But Diane Reevely is a signature artist for Ranger, and I know you can find it on their site. The last time I was on their site, it was there. And it's just rangerinc.com. So take a look for it. I think you'll like it as much as I do, if you like using stencils. Okay, got her filled in. Well, not filled in, but the demarcations. And now I'm gonna, ooh, something's rattling. Let me see if I can get rid of that rattle. There we go. I did move my camera off of the table. It's on a separate table, and it's not touching this, so that hopefully when I'm like doing like this, I know my table is shaking, but the whole camera shouldn't be shaking. I mean, that was just like an earthquake, wasn't it? Ooh. So that was one of my first lessons learned, is you can't have your tripod on the same table as you're working unless you've got an awfully stable table. And look, I've really run this down, so I'll go as far as I can, but I know I'm going to have to sharpen it again. Do you use spray inks? Do you like them? I love them. But they have their limitations because they are always being able to be moved by water. Do you know what I mean? So even though you put it on, even though it's dry, if you use a wet medium on top, it's going to move. Now my alcohol markers, which is the Sharpies, they're okay, because alcohol, when alcohol is the base, it pretty much ignores water type products. So you don't have to worry so much about them. Okay, I'm out of pigment. So yeah, when you're using now I don't know if there's some spray inks that are permanent. I don't know of any, but I'm sure there's some out there. But you know, they would need, I know there's like acrylic inks. I do know some people have put those in sprays. My understanding is they can be a little bit hard to use. There are but liquid inks that are acrylic that I believe people put in things like airbrushing guns. And so they're designed to stay fluid. The problem with acrylics in just a pump spray bottle is that if you don't keep that meticulously clean, that will dry into a plastic and plug up the spraying system. And I'm sure there's protocols for when you're using a airbrush gun that you are keeping those inks from plugging them up permanently. Because acrylic is permanent. Sure is. But again, obviously, I don't know a whole lot about it. But spray inks, for one thing, you get such a punch of color. And I just think they're fun. I really think they're a lot of fun. Okay, I've got that one filled in. Now to pick some colors. And I've not used this. This is gold. Let's do that and see what it comes up like. It's metallic-y, that's for sure. I haven't used this gold pencil a whole lot, but it's kind of pretty. Do it over here. It does cover nice. And it does show your line marks. Do you know what I mean? Now maybe if I burnished this more or took a cotton bud or a tortillon and really gave it a buff, maybe it wouldn't, but I don't know. I'm not really too concerned about that. I don't mind the texture. But if you're doing some type of photorealism drawing and all that, you know, may mean a lot to you. So I just can't tell you at this point. I can tell you that as I move my head, I can see the different shimmer. Okay. How about this? Now, I haven't used this. This is peach beige. We used plain peach, but we didn't use peach beige. And again, the tip looks gray. And on this, right at this moment, it almost looks white to me. That's going to be an interesting color when I'm trying to put the whites back in eyes as I paint faces. This might be a choice because, boy, that's looks pretty white to me. Let's put one up here. So did you do something special for Mother's Day if you're in the US? I know that it's not Mother's Day across the whole world. I believe that in the UK they already had Mother's Day. I also think, I'm not positive, but I think Canada has Mother's Day ahead of us. I'm not sure. Okay. This one is called Parrot Green. So let's see what that's going to give us. Kind of a turquoisey color to me, or at least, you know, on top of the purple and all, that's what it's looking like, and I like it. Yep. Real pretty. I'm going to get, for my little patio, some type of a hanging plant of flowers of some kind. I did it last year, but I didn't move in till July, so I was a little behind in the game as far as that's concerned. But I have to be really cautious of water. I don't want a messy water situation dripping down onto the people who have a patio below me. But, you know, if it's raining, well, you know, it's raining everywhere, so their patio's getting it anyway. But if I water them, I've got to have a nice, generous plate underneath it so that it doesn't want to, you know, go through. I think I need something in the orange family. So this one is called Orange. And I think it's time for that. Now, what am I going to do with this background? At this point, I sincerely don't know, but this could turn into something that I would maybe replicate even on a canvas. And, you know, maybe using stencils and acrylic paint and doing the part that I'm doing now with acrylic paint again. And then I can still take something like a Sharpie or some type of a black alcohol writes on any surface type of thing and still do some doodling. Maybe, you know, I don't know. I'm just going to see. Because like I said, I can't really see the way you see it when I'm this close and the way the lighting is. So I can't say for sure, but it's something I'm considering. All right, this is called Yellow Ochre. Now, I know I've used yellow ochre somewhere over there, but not on this particular spot. So I'm going to put it in here. It's kind of like that gold color, just without the big shine. I think I'm going to put it here. And then I might just use the rest of these spaces to doodle in. I think I can fill in one more. I'll use, oh, and I've got a couple, yeah, I'm going to do, these little ones are a little bit harder to doodle in. So I don't mind filling them in with a color, but it doesn't hurt to leave one. Okay, this is that olive green. I'm going to put it here. And then I think I'll leave that one. And then maybe I'll put the olive green here. Okay. All right. So then I have here, 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 here. Oh, look, look, look. Okay. Let's fill this in. And then I've got a little one right there. I mean, really little. So I'm going to grab the one that's just orange again and just fill that little wedge in. All right. Let's get the Sharpie and do some kind of doodles again. Okay. So is there a type of alcohol marker that you prefer, maybe other than a Sharpie, something that you find works better for you? I would love to hear about it. I really would. It does matter to me. I think I'm going to just do an overall floral. Just little flowers as close together yet random. And just fill this space in with some flowers. I know that there's the Ohuhu markers that I've seen a lot of great reviews on. Of course, there's Copics. Everyone pretty much says the same. They're the Cadillac, but expensive. There's so many brands and so many kinds, but I don't use alcohol markers other than the Sharpies very seldom. I've got a few, just no names. I think one is Blick, but you know, it might just be a little dot here or a little dot there, but I don't use them anywhere near like I use my black Sharpies, which I just love. Okay, that looks good to me. A little fill-in of those little flowers. And maybe in this one, I'll just put some thicker random lines. kind of like what I'm working on. Like this. Just kind of making some little shapes here and there. I'm sorry I get so quiet when I'm concentrating. Okay, I like that. I think some of them are a little too big. I'm gonna make some of these a little bit smaller. There. Okay. This one and this one. All right. Looking around and see what I've already got. Could do kind of a Greek key like this. Maybe make some bigger ones and some littler ones. Like that. What you fixing for supper tonight? I am having what I call sin food. I know that I should eat healthier, but I'm just in the mood. And I have a delicious, at least they're delicious to me, frozen pizza. And I'm going to throw some extra cheese on that. And I'm going to have that for my supper. Kind of looking forward to it, to tell you the truth. There. Good. I like that. Okay. One more. One more. Okay. Maybe I'm going to put a row of circles straight down the middle. I'll tell you, coming up with designs like this, it's not easy. I'm putting a line in each one, kind of like a button would be. Okay. And maybe I'll go this way. I can't even describe. It's kind of like a rectangle, but it follows the edge of the circle. I think it kind of looks like some sort of a closure. I'd hate to have to button all these buttons, but they look cool. Okay, I like that. Now, do I have another one? No. Okay, well, I don't know how we're doing on time, but I've got 3 more. So, are you up for it? I hope so. I hope you are. I am going to, I've got my watercolor bucket of water here, and it is getting dangerously close to the edge. So, I almost dropped it. Even water makes a mess. Let's just set that on the floor, and hopefully I won't kick it over. And then I can move this over just a little bit more. There, okay? Now, as I said, I've got this one, this one, this one. So, okay. Well, I think I'm going to start with a darker outline this time. And again, this one's kind of blurry, so I'm just going to have to sort of fill it in the best I can. Sometimes I'm just kind of using my imagination. And there, okay? Color it in. So are you the kind of person that gets your so many vegetables every day, so many fruits every day? I can tell you I don't, especially on work days, because I'm just not cooking and prepping and doing all that much. I don't eat fast foods, but I kind of do the grainy, trail mixy. I do nuts. I do dried fruit. I do that. I might get a real heavy grain bread and then some turkey or some chicken and make some sandwiches, especially if on the weekend maybe I baked or roasted a chicken, and then I can make a sandwich out of that. Yogurt, cheese, but definitely the vegetables are lacking, unless you call the pickles in my sandwich a vegetable, which I don't really think so. But I do get like roughage in bulk that way. I'll eat an apple, I'll eat an orange. So, you know, not to say that I'm just ignoring. I'm really trying very hard not to ignore it, but it is definitely not a strong suit for me. I'm using silver now, and that's what this one's called, is just silver. I used gold in that other one, so I thought, well, I'll at least do 1 square of silver. Have you noticed that I noticed it when the fall line of clothes came out for 2021-2022, that on purses, on coats, and all the hardware and all the trims and all the notions went from silver to gold. We'd been silver for so long, and now I noticed gold. Now I really, to tell you the truth, I haven't looked at what's going on in the summer clothes this year. And I mean, they've been out since, you know, Christmas was over, but I just haven't really taken a look to see if they, you know, kept up, if the metal buttons are gold instead of silver. Now, I did just recently buy some new glasses, and all the metal in all the glasses was gold. And I've got all gold accessories, all gold, not gold, I've got all silver accessories. And living in the desert Southwest, of course, we had an awful lot of silver jewelry. Okay, this is called beige. So I do have a lot of turquoise and silver type jewelry, but I just do my thing. I just bought glasses that didn't have any metal on them, and that way I'm not committed. But I'll tell you, I do have some of both in my jewelry box. I sure do, and it's all costume jewelry. So yeah, but it if I want a necklace, I grab a necklace. If I want earrings, I grab earrings. Some are gold, some are silver. I really, you know, that's the artist in me. I'm just going for whatever. Okay, this one is called Sunburst Yellow. If we've used this one, I don't remember saying it out loud. I'm going to do this little space with this one. The little spaces I'm finding are some of the hardest to do the doodling in. And like this space is just so narrow. This one leaves a lot of crumbs. It's okay. I need something that's in the blue, green, whatever. I've got all this, so I'm going to use, this one is called True Green. Let's put it up here. I realize this is a long process, but you know, it's kind of a hard thing because you do get comments and hear from people that, well, I really want to see the process. I don't know what was going through your mind. And you have others that are like, oh, I can't sit for that. So I guess you can always speed it up. I know that YouTube gives you that option and you can just speed her up. I don't know how to speed up just in my editing, but it's something that I plan to learn. Okay, I want something again more in the greenish side of life and not the yellow. Although I wouldn't mind a nice deep orange. How about that? And I'm only going to have, I only have 2 places now, but you know what? That doesn't bother me. I'm going to go ahead and put this orange right here, and then I'll just doodle in that one space. That's okay. There's no rules. There, okay. And now I've got my Sharpie. And let's do something fun over here. I'm going to do, I think, a very big snaily looking one again. I know I did this before. Maybe I'll stop it right there and do one here. And then I'm just going to fill this in with these kind of lines. Do a little one here. And then fill this in with some, you know, lines that kind of go with. And then like that. Okay. Yeah, good. Okay, turn the book around. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out a way that you can see it and that I can reach it. So, what am I bumping into? My light. Okay. Well, I can lift this up and it can rest on the light a little bit. Won't hurt a bit. Okay. This one and this one, that's what we've got left. And then we'll just have to kind of examine the whole thing and see what we think. What do you say? Okay, I'm going to use this orange. I think this is Poppy Red. Yeah, I'm going to use that. And I'm going to create the, again, I'm going to have to just sort of find the spaces. And because they got kind of blurred, but I can kind of see where they go. Yep. When you get way towards the edge, the paint got just kind of misty, but I don't mind that look. I think it's kind of cool. But then, of course, I'm going to see less of the shapes. That's okay. Okay, I think I got the shape. Nope, got one here. There. All right, filling it in. Yep, so I'm going to have frozen pizza for supper. But you know, that's got the tomato sauce and stuff, which is vegetable-y. I think the biggest problem with pizza is the fat. Cheese has a lot of fat, except, you know, most of the time they're using a part skim mozzarella, which is good. And I can throw more vegetables on. I can throw some mushrooms on. I can throw some like zucchini chips on top and things like that. And if you tend to do that, I don't know about your oven, but with my oven, if I kind of layer on some vegetables that way, if I just turn it down, preheat it like they say, but like I think mine says to do at 425. Well, I put it on at 350. My crust still comes out, but it cooks a little slower than they recommend. However, then it's all done. I'm not running into a cold middle. And the vegetables, although they still have a little bit of a bite to them, they're warm, they're hot through and through. So I like that. Now, is it the same as eating a tossed salad? Well, no. But I've even like, you know, throwing spinach leaves on, just whatever I have. I've never put carrots on a pizza because I just think they take too long to cook. But other things I sure have. Yes, I have. So, I mean, I'm not fooling myself, but there is more to it than just cheese. You know, there is meat and what have you involved. So, okay, there's that one. I think I'm going to, because I can see over here that it's a separate one, a separate rectangle. Okay, did I do good? I don't know. It feels like I didn't fill it in real good, but I think it just has to do with what's under it and how it is coming across. Okay. All right. Gonna go with, I don't think I used this yet. Goldenrod. Maybe I did. I'm not sure. But I'm using it now. I am a big time coffee drinker. I like my coffee. And my coffee is decaf. So I can drink it all day, and I do. I just really like that warm beverage. I pretty much cut out sodas because even if I get a sugar-free type of soda, the dentist told me the acid is still doing a number on my teeth. So I do drink juice, again, especially when I'm working, because, you know, trying to get a balance of fruits and stuff. This is lemon yellow. So I do drink juice on the days that I'm working so that I can get some vitamin C and other things. I realize juice is not as good as eating the whole fruit, which I will eat, like, you know, those things out here, they call them, I think, cuties. They're like little nectarines, not nectarines. What are they? Those little mandarin oranges kind of things that are just so delicious. And I will eat those. Easy to eat, easy to peel. Okay. I think I need something in the green family, so I'm picking the spring green. Give it over here. Even though my palette is obviously, you know, this whole tray of colors, I think that they speak to each other. Like, I don't have bright red. I don't have navy blue. You know, I picked kind of in a family. A lot of green shades, a lot of yellow shades, a lot of orange shades, and that was my goal. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple more, but I think I want green again. I'm going to give this dark. This one is the olive green. I think it needs a bit of a dark green. And then I think for another one, I'm going to pick out kind of one of those blue greens. I don't even think I have all that much of that on this side of the page, but that's okay. Oh, you know what? I only have two. No, I've got three. Good. All right. I want to pick one of these bluish colors. This is that Parrot Green. Hang on. How about this one? Okay, this one is the aquamarine. I think I used that way at the beginning. But it's kind of a bluish green. You know what? I think I'm covering over a color I already did. I think it was that ochre color. Okay, well, I've only got two little places to do some doodling, so that's all right. That's okay. And then I only have one more circle left. So thanks for hanging in there with me this long. I really appreciate it very much. I hope you're as interested in seeing the end result as I am, because as I said, I've never done something like this before. But it's a good thing to do in my art journal. And who knows, maybe I will end up liking it well enough that I'll consider putting it on a canvas or some of my larger papers. I've got some larger papers. I've got my easel ready to go, but you know, I felt like my art journal, it was on my mind that I had unfinished here, there, and everywhere. And I'm not going to get them all done, but I just felt like I want to do something with these. Just was on my mind to do. So there we have it. Okay. Let me give this a little zigzag back and forth. Okay. All right. One left. One left, people. And how can I arrange this so we can all see it? Right there. Now, hang on. There's going to be a bump. There we go. And I'm just going to put these pencils right up here. And they're going to fall right in. Well, maybe I'll use this one first. What color is it? This is that Parrot Green again. Let's cover the Sharpie. And I'm okay with using Parrot Green. Let's do, and this again, I can't see. It's a little bit blurry the way the stencil came out, so I'm kind of guessing at the shapes, but that's all right. I can see some though. You'd be surprised how I can see some. Okay, coloring it in, home stretch. So I said, thank you so much for hanging in there with me through this process, but I'm to the point that I feel almost guilty if I'm working on something arty and I'm not making a video, because I just want you to, you know, share in this process of both how I'm attempting to grow a YouTube channel, and we talked a little bit about, you know, like print on demand and things like that. I do have a friend. We went to church together, and then she moved to also the west side. She's about, I would say, maybe 20 minutes away from me now again. So, but she illustrates books, and she also designs stickers and things. So I thought I might tap into her to maybe help me with that whole print on demand kind of thing, and seeing if I can do it. Now, if you don't understand print on demand, what it is you send in your art, you select what it is that you want your art put on, be it notebook covers or stationery or blankets or beach towels, and then you need to set up some way to kind of order where that people can see what you've got and order it. And there's ways that you can, through the electronics. I'm going to start with some doodling because I've kind of got away from it here. So you can go ahead and they make like mock-ups that people can see what it will look like, what that t-shirt or what that sweatshirt is going to look like with your design on it, and then people order it. But they don't make any until someone orders, and then they go ahead and print it up, and then they send it out for you, and you just get your cut after their costs, which they explain to you exactly what their costs are. So I don't know if she's exactly done that, but I know that she's got like her stickers and things. So I just may tap into her a little bit and see what I can learn about coming up with another arm. Now this summer, between wanting to spend time with my grandson and wanting to do my YouTube videos and working 3 days a week, I just don't know if I have time to take on classes. I don't know. At this minute, I can't see how I'm going to do that, but you know, never say never. I never know how things, and in my job and the way that my case is set up, um, it could go away, and it just, that's just the nature of the business. So I may find myself depending more on my art as a way to make a living than I had anticipated. So never know. And so I'm going to, just have to see what's gonna come. I'm not anticipating that, but I'm dealing the same as when you have medical things going on with insurance companies and what they deem is necessary and what they deem isn't, and whether I'm going to be considered necessary for this case or not. So we will see. But I'm just saying, if you told me, well, Julie, do you realize that come June, you're not going to have a nursing job, at least not this assignment. Now, my company's not going to get rid of me, but, will there be an assignment available? Who knows? Just all this is speculation, but just to say that I never know when this is going to have to get ramped up, maybe. Okay, I'm going to do at least one more doodle design in here. And these are both kind of circle related, so I think I'll go with more lines in this one. Trying to come up with some type of variety. Any of you coffee fans? What's your favorite brand? I really like, out here we have the Dunkin' Donuts. It's a nice smooth coffee. I do like Starbucks. You've got to like a strong coffee. Well, I shouldn't say that, because they do have varieties that are more of a medium blend. So, maybe there's a Starbucks flavor that you really like. My sister, I'm trying to think, she's as much of a coffeeholic as I am. But I don't remember. I know that she orders hers online, and I forget who she orders it from. But I know she's just nuts about her coffee brand, and that's great. Okay, I think I'm going to put one more. Maybe what I'll do with this one is more of a stripe like I had in one of the others. So tell me, what is it, Seattle's Best, or do you go to Costco and get the Starbucks beans and grind it yourself, or never touch the stuff? Or maybe you're a tea drinker. I like tea. I sure do. I think I drink more iced tea in the summer, and then you'll see me more drinking hot teas in the winter. Okay, this color is called Blush Pink. Now, it's called that. It just sort of looked to me more like it was towards the peach and coral kind of a pink. So that's why I grabbed it. And I like it. I think it's fine. I think I'll give one more spot for that, maybe up here. What kind of tea do you drink? Now, I like Celestial Seasonings Sleepy Time Tea, which is kind of a mint blend. But I mean, I don't drink it just at night. I drink it all the time. I like green teas. Now, green teas have a little more caffeine, not anywhere near coffee level, but I can't do all day just sipping on green tea, or I'll be up all night. So that's not for me, but I like a green tea. I like to take like maybe like a berry blend, and just take 4 or 5 of those tea bags. Now this is apple green, and put them in a pitcher of water in the refrigerator first thing in the morning. And by lunchtime, you've got what we call in Arizona sun tea, but it's really smarter if you make it in the refrigerator, because they can grow bacteria. But I like to do that, and then that makes a nice iced tea. I want to add an orange, so this one is the Pale Vermilion. If we used this one before, I don't remember reading that name out loud, but I like this. It's a real pretty corally color. Okay, well. It's upside down, so I'm going to turn it around. And here is my wild background, and I tried to make a more cohesive art journal page. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to sign this. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope maybe you'll give it a try. I'm looking forward to seeing you in another video. Take